In Express, route means a specific URL path that will respond to specific HTTP requests like get, post, put, delete. So the route is actually the API endpoint which will listen to a HTTP request that is called route. Generally, we can add a route in Express app using app.method. Then we have the path and the handler. And we need to create all the routes for Express app before binding to the code. So here I have added a new route app.get, so we will receive the request on get method for slash. Slash means the root of the Express app, that is localhost colon 3000. For this I am returning res.send hello world. What is this? Let me explain. So here app is Express app, get is the request method which is get post. So here we have get, and here we have the path, the endpoint for the API, and then we have the API handler, which is like a callback function for this endpoint. So here in the callback function or API handler, we will have two objects. One is request, one is response. In short, REQ for request, RES for response, and we will receive all the incoming request data in REQ object, and we will return the response of the API in RES object. So for example, here we have a API handler here, and it is written like this. When we are writing the API handler, we must enclose the request and response with a first bracket and then the fat arrow, and then we have the curly bracket or second bracket. Inside that we will send res.send hello world. Now let's reload our browser. So when I reload the browser, still I'm not getting the updated route because the node server also need to restart it. So whenever any code change happen in the node project, always need to restart the server. So I have restarted the server. Now let me reload. See, hello world. So that means for the application root path, that is the for the root API localhost colon 3000, it is sending hello world. Now let's copy this and create another root. So we can create multiple roots like this. So I am doing slash about, and I am changing here about. So that means we have to restart the server again, and restarted the server. So this one will not change. Now I'll add here about and hit enter. About word. You can see I have created two API endpoint or two API routes that will return some response. Now let's deeply understand the REQ and RES. Always use REQ and RES. Don't change the variable name. It is a standard naming convention, and REQ is receiving the request and RES is sending the response. So let's deep dive into request and response. Whenever a user opens a browser or hits an API, a request response cycle happens, and the flow look like this. Client do the HTTP request, go to the Express server, find the root handler and execute the code, and then HTTP response come back to client again. For example, here app.get slash about, client send a request, browser request slash about, Express receive a request, Express check request method, here it is get, and the request path here is slash about. Then the matching route executes, server send the response and browser receive the response. This way an API work in server. So here REQ, which is request object, contains incoming request data. REQ object contains all the information sent by the client. REQ.params is used to get values from root parameters, that means from the URL itself. For example, here app.get user slash colon ID, then req and here we have console.log req.params.id. Let's see what happened with this. So I'm going to restart the server again and server restarted. Now if I go to the browser and type user slash 5 and hit enter, so here you can see it's showing 5. And if I go to the console, here you can see request params, that is the request params, because here you can see console.log req.params, so it received all the params from the root. So this helps us to create dynamic root when sending the data in the URL itself. Because when calling this API from client, we will call like this slash users slash 5 slash users slash 10. The ID is dynamic and we can get that ID directly from the root. So here if I change to 30, it will change to 30 here. That means we can dynamically call the API with the value from client. req.query is used to get value from query parameters like question mark key equals to value. So for example, I have used a new root app.get slash search and then in the console logging req.query, and here I am sending the response as req.query.keyword. So I am assuming there will be a query parameter called keyword. Now let's see. So here now I will change it to search and then question mark keyword equals to test and hit enter. Again it is showing because server not restarted and the new root is not added to the Express app yet. So I need to restart the server again, going to the server and restarting the node server again. Server restarted. Now let's reload it. So you can see it's showing test here. Now let's go to the console. So here we are getting the query object keyword equals to test, and now I'll pass another. So I am passing another param car equals to BMW. Now let's see what happened. So here you can see it receiving two object param here, keyword and car. But in our code we are only sending keyword. That's why only keyword is showing as a response here. I hope the express route with get request method is clear to you. If still you have any doubt, please comment. I'll definitely reply in the comment. Also, if you want to learn other request method, please comment. I'll create a separate video on that.